The game might be over, but we're just getting started. Welcome to the Todd Fox Postgame Podcast, your go-to spot for real, unfiltered Angels talk, win or lose, on the Halos in the Infield Network. You never know what's going to happen. Walk-offs, meltdowns, heroics, or straight-up typical Angels disasters. We're breaking it all down. Who stepped up and took home the Golden Stamos, the most prestigious award in baseball? And who embarrassed themselves so badly they're stuck with the dreaded Nacho Night Award? Drop your comments, call in, and sound off. We're reading them all. So like, share, subscribe, and buckle up, because this show pulls no punches. And yes, Anthony Rendon is still a fragile little bitch. Take it away, Todd.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield Postgame Show. And boy, we've got a feisty, fiery one tonight here, as it's by the fans, for the fans, for the fans, by the fans. This is the only place where you yourself can sound off and give me the hate or the love back that I receive from you as a fan, whether you're pissed off, whether you're happy, whether you're satisfied, whether you are not satisfied, which I believe most of the fans in attendance, thanks to Jim Hoyt tonight, letting us know that there was a ton of kids in attendance, along with Boo Boo Bear's mama, Alex, a bunch of other people that were there in attendance tonight, Dimitro. Everyone was there tonight only to see a pathetic performance by your Anaheim Angels of the Republic of China of the Western Hemisphere of Los Angeles, California. It was terrible. Before the series started, I brought it up yesterday that you heard on AM 830 when I listened to it, it was all about the propaganda prime minister, aka PP, aka Rodger Lodge, spewing the Angel love, saying Solaire's going to hit a home run, and he was talking this up and everything. I failed to mention that yesterday you had Trent Rush going, well, hey, I'm going to wax poetic right now, and I'm going to tell you, this team, after that win on Sunday that we've talked about for the last 3 hours, that can really propel this team to far greater heights, because there's something different, Raj, about this team, because they have some kind of mojo in that locker room, and they're playing with higher purpose and power this year, and they could get some wins here, and Trent Rush thinks, which is myself talking third person, I think that this team could be onto something special as they play a inferior Pittsburgh Pirates team. Oh, really, Trent? Really, Trent? This is exactly why I said before the series, and it's on our page, it's on YouTube, it's on all our social media. I flat out said, do not take the Pirates lightly. The last couple games especially, I'm trying to discover and understand. The Pirates came in with 8 wins. They now have 10. They were 8-15 at this before the series, and they were a combined 2-8 on the road coming into Anaheim. Now they're 2-0 in Anaheim. What I want to know now, 28 hits later, yes, 28 hits later, as the Angels lose 3-0, actually 29, I'm sorry, they have 11 hits today, 18 yesterday, double digits back-to-back. The Angels said, you know what? We'll see your 5 hits. No, we won't. We will go with only 2. And they got 1 in the 9th inning. I was waiting for a useless solo shot, but let me go back to this real quick. What are the Angels right now? And I don't want to hear anybody talk about the pitching. I don't give a shit if you think, oh, man, that guy sucks when he came in the 9th inning. He's terrible. That young kid is a journeyman. He's another Perry Manassian pickup. No! Kowanowitz gave up a couple runs. No! Anytime a starter, and I mean anytime a starter in Major League Baseball, I don't care what team you play for, what team you watch, what team you love, if your starting pitching can give you 5 or 6 innings, especially 6, with allowing 5 or less runs, or in this case, no, I say I've always gone back to 4 or less runs. you better get your ass together, and you most likely should be in the game. I don't care if you're facing Paul Skeens, Garrett Cole, any of the best pitchers in the league. You should only be down maybe 1 or 2 runs, 3 at worst. Do something, get in the game a little bit. I mean, they're pitching above their heads once again. I feel real bad for the rotation right now. I really, really do. And a lot of people crap on the bullpen and say, oh, these guys suck, which they do, like Ian Anderson, and kudos to Manassian. Ian Anderson's no longer an Angel. But my thing is, how in the world can any Halo honk out there, a respectable Angel fan, any kind of respectable Angel fan, AM 830, not talk about the futility in the lineup? And let me just run this by you, because we talked a lot about this yesterday. I'm going to take a different angle in my opening rant here. We talked about how these guys can't get out of their own way. They're not hitting, right? We talked about how, and I brought it up, the Pirates are going to be a pesky team. They're going to dink and doink you to death. They will get a lot of guys on. Their problem is what we had last year and this year as well. I think more last year, because we put more guys on at this point last year in the season on base, and then we just couldn't get them in. I think it's the same thing for the Pirates. They're putting a lot of guys on base in every which way, whether it's bunting, infield hits, singles, bloop singles. And again, no stat cast needed tonight, dumbasses. None. It doesn't matter about the velo, the exit velocity, the freaking angle. Doesn't matter. What matters is the Angels are that kid in the classroom with yourself, either in junior high or high school, that joins the group. Their hitting side, anyway, is that kid that's annoying. He's on his phone, or he's goofing off, talking to another girl or talking to a friend, not paying attention, not even working with the rest of the group on the project. But guess what? At the end, he gets a freaking A, right? Or he just gets a participation grade. And yet, if the class project or the group project fails, you get the blame, even though you're putting in all the work. Not the dipshit that wasn't doing anything in the corner. I really am tired of the hitting side of this team on the propaganda side on AM 830 and the stupid-ass podcast that always go, oh, StatCast, their exit velocity is one of the best in the league. Well, what's their batting average in the rest of the league? What's their hits in the rest of the league? Oh, we bragged so much about how we have 30 home runs. Where's the home runs now? You know what I think it is? And correct me if I'm wrong, or just hit me up in the comments. I want to know. Am I on the right path here, or am I wrong? Meaning, I think the real problem is the hitting coach. And it's not just one guy. It's not just Washington's son. He has a collective group of people, along with the analytics idiots, that don't know anything, don't know a pencil from their ass. I believe that these guys are doing something different, something outside the box, like what Joe Madden did. Remember the whole thing with Joe Madden was, hey, he doesn't believe in batting cages and taking batting practice, or he only believes in taking batting batting practice in the batting cages. He doesn't like the batting practice outside on the field. That was the dumbest shit I heard. But now I think it's something completely different. I think there is a failure to do the homework, meaning like that kid in the corner that's goofing off, doing absolutely nothing. We're not prepared. We're not prepared for the test. It is almost like, from what I'm getting out of this, correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like Barry Enright and his team of staff that work with the pitchers are actually helping the pitchers get to where they need to actually watch the film, to break down each additional batter, the important scenarios in a game. If this happens, if that happens, it seems like all the pitchers are pretty much in step with what they want to do. Because again, correct me if I'm wrong, but these pitchers are pitching above their head, meaning They're putting in the work. They're putting in the effort. They're putting in the time to be better and thus give your Halos a better chance and more chances to come back or to win games. However, just like the kid in the corner who doesn't do shit for your project, I believe the hitters are not putting in the time. I don't think they're putting in the effort, and I don't think the coaching is enforcing jack shit. It's okay, because in baseball, you go through peaks and valleys, where sometimes you're on a really good stretch and you're like, wow, hey, these guys are hitting really good right now. They're top 10 in the league in OPS and MPR and ZYZ and all these other made-up bullshit StatCasts. They're number one, yes. And sometimes you get on a roll. And sometimes I know you can't find water in the middle of the ocean. I get it. But to routinely, and I get when you run into an ace and you tip your cap and you're like, okay, you know, he had a better night tonight. He's just a quality starter. He's fucking unhittable. I get it. That happens too. But night in and night out against different opponents, different pitchers, different style of pitchers, you look the same goddamn useless team. If you look at the stats from these players from years, from even just last year, look at where Neto's numbers are. Look at his contact rate. Look at Taylor Ward. Look at all these players. I know Trout's regressed, but he was better last year. Well, I can't even count last year. The guy's never playing. This is the most he's played in a while. But let me just say, most of these hitters, Ohapi, all these dudes, much better, even Darno. And what about the guys who've come over outside of Renifo? I mean, you have, Newman looked better last year. He was, the coaching. I'm almost convinced now the hitting coach needs to be fired yesterday, because we need someone in there that's going to light a fire under these asses of these useless players who, in my mind, or not even in my mind, what I'm hearing from the propaganda prime minister, what I'm hearing from other podcasts, what I'm hearing from interviews is, oh, hey, Mike Trout, he went out there and he was pushing a tire across the field, and he took extra outfielding, practice out there with the rest of the guys. Right now, I know his outfielding sucks. That's why he should be a designated hitter, and I would put Soler in right field, because Soler hasn't been making errors. That's number one. Number two, if anybody needs to be in the batting cages, if anyone needs to be facing live pitching practice, if anyone needs to be at the ballpark 3 hours earlier, it's Mike fucking Trout. But no, I don't hear about this. I hear, they're at the stadium doing infield practice. They don't need that shit. Defensively and pitching, they're fine. Give me some goddamn hitting practice. Give me some video time. Give me some time where these guys are going to go in there and take this shit seriously and be like, you know what, we're facing Andrew Hiti tonight. Here's what to look for. When he does this, look for he might tip his pitch if he's behind an account. He might drop his leg or raise it higher. You look for shit like that. I don't think the Angels are doing that. I don't think they're prioritizing that at all. It's almost evident to me, from an outsider that's not inside that team's locker room. To me, if I have to diagnose from afar, it's the fact that they're not being pushed by their coaches. They're not taking in the knowledge of the game by watching and studying video, and they are not practicing enough. And the result is on the field. You get 2 hits shut out by the fucking Pirates. Andrew fucking Heaney. He is literally the league's punching bag. But last year and this year, you didn't take him serious. I am beyond pissed off right now. And the only thing I want to yell is, fuck! Because I don't understand. You call yourself a major league team, number one. You call yourself a big league franchise in Los Angeles. You are not either. When you play like this, you might as well be the Pittsburgh Pirates of the West. And it's one thing to have one bad year, but you can see, and I think I speak for everyone right here, when this team can be a lot better than what they are showing you right now. They should have about at least 3 or 4 more wins. Because I can see the improvement in the pitching. This is really a Band-Aid bullpen. Literally. Just pulling guys up from the street, pulling guys out of the 99-cent bin. And some nights it works, sometimes it doesn't, but for the most part, it has. The pitching is giving you every opportunity to win 90% of these games. You've only been out of 2. And yet they still look shit tonight. Let's go over this lineup real quick. I don't want to. But Kowanowitz came back strong after 2 iffy starts. He pitched 6 innings tonight. Quality start, 2 runs, 8 hits, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. And I told you yesterday, I told you before, watch out for the Pirates. They are super duper pesky. They don't want to hit the home run. Their whole goal is to put things in play and run on the bases and keep the pressure on you. And guess what? It worked. And guess what? You still pitched really good enough to win this game. I mean, it was there for them all night. All night. Even if you go by the stupid AM 830, the FanDuel logic of, hey, bloop and a blast. Hey. A bloop and a blast would have tied this game. You couldn't even do that. I thought that's your bread and butter. Swing for the fences. Chicks dig the long ball. Not so much. Let's go over this lineup, and there's only one song I can play that fits this goddamn shitty lineup, because I believe if you look at the lineup on paper, like Saucy said to me at Brewheim, if you look at the lineup on paper, it looks pretty damn good. But they're not playing. None of these players are playing to their capabilities, because I don't think they're putting in the time. I don't think they're putting in the homework to as far as studying the day's pitcher or the teams that they're facing. And they sure as hell don't have a strategy other than put the ball over the fence. But here's the song we're going to play. First up, Jorge Soler. 0 for 4. Zach Neto, 0 for 4 and 2 strikeouts. Mike Nelson Trout, 0 for 4, 3 Ks. His average has risen to 169. Oh, fallen. And then you got Taylor, dumbass Big Ears Ward. For some reason, they thought it was a great idea to put Soler, a guy who they've been batting fourth, number 1, and a guy number 1 bat fourth. And Taylor Ward is just as useless at 4 as he was at 1, batting a robust 213. Again, move his ass to 7 or lower and watch him take off. That's just my idea. Then you got Travis d'Arnaud. Why the hell is he in 5th spot? I don't know. Ron Washington seems to think he doesn't know where the hell to put him. 2 more strikeouts. Shonawell, 0 for 3. Renifo, 0 for 3. Kyron Paris, 1 for his last 23, 0 for 3. Joe Adele, 0 for 3. Angels, 12 strikeouts, 0 walks. 0 walks, people. And you know what? The Angels lineup, they're just full of wieners.
Wiener, 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 next to another wiener, 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 two wieners alongside yet another wiener, party, wiener party, party, wiener, wieners nice and soft, non-erect wieners. Flopping wieners, flopping wieners, dangle wieners, dangle wieners in my bag.
Stop, please. I can't take it anymore.
I can't take any more either. A bunch of wieners out there, dude. And again, the Pirates are look at this. I hate laughing at my own team, but look at this. 9 guys in the lineup, right? Actually, I take that back. They had 11 guys that came and went through the lineup. All 11 got a hit. Or 10. I'm sorry, 10. All 10 guys got a hit. They all at least got 1 hit. The only one that got 2 hits was Cruz. They struck out only 8 times. They worked 2 walks. We got no walks again. 12 more Ks. 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Again, Kiwanowitz, good start. Detmier's 2 innings out of the bullpen, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts. Edwards, I'm not even going to count that. That is some pathetic-ass baseball. And not even on the pitching side. This is garbage. Everybody in attendance, the team, including Mike Trout, especially Mike Trout, and even Anthony Rendon, the only way it would have been justified is if they gave you a refund on your tickets out of their salary because they played like shit. Absolute shit tonight. So this was a loss from start to finish, and we only play one thing when we do that. Angels lose, 18 hits last night, 11 more tonight. You've been out hit 29-7. 29-7 on your home field. I can understand Pittsburgh because you're not familiar there. Seems like the Pirates would serve better to play here long time, right? Money Team says over on TikTok, doesn't Pittsburgh have a good bullpen? They're average. They got some good arms, but they're average. They're hittable. But no, this team is terrible. The Angels have not practiced whatsoever. They don't prepare, and it's so prominently shown on TV. Their at-bats are terrible. Their situational hitting is terrible. The fact they don't do small ball is terrible. And then some people say, well, most teams – well, how come they're able to work hits, without small ball? Because the Angels don't have that, that they don't have the table setters. They don't have the right lineup. I've been preaching a totally different lineup this entire time. Money Team over there on TikTok also says, damn, Skeens must have made them way overrated. I'll tell you this right now. Skeens could have pitched left-handed tonight and shut out the Angels. I mean, it's just poor. It's just terrible. Stezio says our pitching has to be frustrated with this offense. Absolutely. And I'm going to get into the comments over here on YouTube and as well as X. I'm going to start that off. But first, John Stamos Award real quick, and then also the Nacho Night. The John Stamos Award for Best Player on the Field. I'm going to give it to our former Angel, Andrew fucking Hiti, sporting now a 1.72 ERA, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, 9 strikeouts. He struck out the first 6 Angels that he saw. And as far as one more comment over there on TikTok, it says, what is going on with Trout? Well, what's not going on with Trout? Trout is uppercut swinging everything. He can't get a single to save his life outside that 2 RBI that he had earlier in the year. There's no doubles. There's no change in his swing. It's just high heat, high cheese, rising fastball. He can't catch up to it. And then they throw him a curveball when he's actually fouling him off. So Trout needs a hitting instructor. What is it called? He needs a hitting instructor, AKA a surgeon, to fix his fucking swing right now because he's dying in front of us. He's literally dying. He's almost flatlining hitting wise. He is absolutely terrible. Fire Washington, no. Fire his son and get someone in there. You had a chance to have Clint Hurdle, and you passed on him, Artie Moreno, because he was too expensive. He was $200,000 more than I wanted to pay. Let's give you now the Nacho Night Award, which is going to the worst player on the team. And Jesus Christ, I think you know where I'm going with this.
Why do you build me up?
Wrong one. Nacho Night.
Nacho Night, oh yeah, Nacho Night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shame, gosh, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
The Nacho Night Award is going to go to absolutely the entire fucking lineup and the hitting instructor, Washington's son, and all those other minions and the guys upstairs who value the long ball, who can't teach or preach small ball, and have decided to reinvent the bat. And, you know, it's one thing to reinvent the bat and actually do it like the Yankees and make something out of it. But the Angels can't even do that. They're going to say they reinvented it without proof or backup or stats. They're going to make up stats and say, well, Mike Trout on a sunny day with only 3 clouds in the sky around 12 o'clock in the afternoon can hit the ball to the left fielder every single time if the batter's eye is completely dark army green, not navy or forest green. Does any of that make sense? No, but that's StatCast. That's, hey, launch angle, watch that rising fastball, launch angle. They're actually screwing up good players. I really think they've there's no doubt in my mind, I think Travis d'Arnaud is better hitter than what he's shown. There's no doubt in my mind that as much as Newman has been a thorn in my side, he's a much better player outside of the Angels. Same thing we saw with Brandon Marsh. The minute that motherfucker lands in Philly, all of a sudden the hitting instructor is like, I'm working with you. Fixes his swing. All of a sudden he's an all-star. All of a sudden he's a center fielder for the future. There's no doubt in my mind if Joe Adell takes a plane ride somewhere else and gets traded, that fool will take off and he'll be the Joe Adell he should have been here in Anaheim. And there's no doubt in my mind if Mike Trout wasn't convinced that home runs are everything, the end-all be-all, that you can do other things than hit a home run, his stats would be the way they used to be. 35 home runs, 129 RBIs, batting .303, and trying to play for the MVP. But no, we have a bunch of guys who want to strike out 200 times. We have a guy in Taylor Ward with his big-ass Dumbo ears who should not be swinging for the fences every goddamn time. And yes, he'll get a lucky one here and there, and good for him. But guess what? That's not the type of player he should be. He should be a singles, doubles hitter, and if he gets into one, so be it. But for every time you're swinging for the fences? I mean, there's literally only a couple of guys on this team that actually, and the scary thing to me is I'm starting to see it from Neto too. The only one on this team that is sticking to his guns as a pure hitter is Shonawell. Look at how he holds his bat, how he swings actually Renifo. Those two guys are the only ones who will work a walk, hit the ball the other way, and do the little things. If you need a sacrifice fly, guess what? He'll hit you a sacrifice fly. If you need a ground ball to the right side and move the runner from second and third, they do it. But not these other guys. You got a clear situation where you need to move the runner over and they're swinging for the fences, popping out, striking out, grounding out. And I'm starting to see Neto too. Like he's getting into that home run bravado. Like, oh man, the chicks really cheered a lot more when I hit those bombs and I bat flip. And don't even get me started about how they can't judge a good fastball or they let the ones go right down the middle. And again, that comes down to studying. Again, if you're seeing a pitch that is waist high coming at you and you know that pitcher tends to throw a lot of changeups, curveballs, split fingers, that's going to be in the dirt. Or sliders. It's going to go away from you. It's going to go inside. It's not going to be in the strike zone. But if you see a pitch start about chest high, neck high, it's going to fall more than likely in your hit zone. I mean, just give me a little time with these guys and I will fix them. Give me some time. You know what? And I've said it before. What happened to the days of hiring actual hitters that did good things in the league, that hit for average? You know, like how come we're not signing a guy like Paul Molitor? Like back in the day, we went for one of the best hitters of all time, Hall of Famer Rod Carew as a hitting instructor. We went for Don Baylor. We went for Mickey Hatcher. Why are we not testing any of those guys out? Hell, even right now, I would take Albert Pujols. If Albert Pujols said, hey, I want to coach and manage as a batting coach, Come on down, baby. Come on down. Because I remember seeing a thing with him where he would actually practice with golf balls. And Fernando told me he saw him several times in batting practice saying, pointing with his bat where he's going to hit the ball off live pitching, and he would put it there in batting practice. And another one right there. Herman says, what about Vladdy Guerrero? I mean, bring in a legend or two that actually could hit for average. You know, a guy I would love, and maybe not a lot of players or people would go for this, but I would. I would seriously go for, I literally would go for Carlos Delgado back in the day. If some of you guys remember him, he played mostly in the 90s, early 2000s for the Toronto Blue Jays. Before you had tablets and things of that nature, he had a little book that he kept with him at all times. It turned into a huge ass binder of all the pitchers that he's ever faced, every at bat that he's ever had, and the result of every at bat, the result of every pitch. He put it down. And in between innings, he would look up that pitcher's name if he's still facing him. Like if he was facing Verlander, he'd look it up and be like, okay, this is what I did 3 years ago. This is what I did last year. He had it charted. And that's attention to detail. That's what you call preparation. That's what I want for this team. That's the kind of managing and coaching you need for this team. Anybody can just be like, hey, let's look at what you did on the last at bat. Okay. Well, that's not really doing video in game. It's not enough time between innings. You got to do that before the game. You got to work on how your approach is going to be. My God, let's get into the comments because there's a shit ton of them and it's going to take us forever to catch up as the Angels lose 3-1 tonight. An embarrassment. J-Dog says Trout and Kyron look so lost up there. Can somebody please do something? Jason Hess says bring out the pooper scooper, turn the Big A into a parking lot full of balls, and the Angels suck. As it was a tough one tonight. Big time.
For you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
No, not John Stamos. A parking lot. Roman says, we're so cooked. Also, Calhoun would be nice as a hitting instructor. Well, the problem is with Calhoun, he struck out too many times. I want someone that was a freaking contact hitter. Botched Investigation says, who won? Well, Angels will Angel, he said. Also, making Angels legend Andrew Heaney look like prime Randy Johnson. Jason says, big breath. Who's you? What are you actually surprised on how they played tonight? No, I'm not. Guinness says, bring on Ibar. I would like that because Ibar was definitely a good player out there on the field. I loved what he did when he would talk to the pitchers in between innings as well. Fans booing, starting to boo, or they need to start booing. Well, you can't because the propaganda prime minister, Grillmaster, tells you not to. He literally says it's not worth your time to boo. It's not good to boo. And Diamond brings up a good one, Bobby Abreu. Bobby Abreu was a guy who was always on base, worked a walk, did this little things, slapped the ball the other way. Great hitter. I would love to have him. Howie Kendrick would be nice too. The problem is these guys all sound great, but you still have to get past the analytics. How much does the analytics actually have on the Angels coaches to where they can't use their gut, they can't use their skills? It's all, do they have to follow the nerds all the time? And we don't know. Trout is better at golfing than baseball, Botched Investigation says. Also, Tyler says the new lineup was absolutely stacked. Ron must have been a mad scientist. Oh, wait. Artie is basically MLB's Putin. Also, Saucy says our young players are good, but we need one to become great. Trout is looking washed. He sure is. Jason says Trout's uppercut swing could hit Grill in the nuts. Maybe out of here. Also, speaking of nuts, Jason comes in with D's nuts. I got to find that one real quick because I always put that the other way. Real quick, propaganda prime minister sounds like this.
Call me a bootlicking houseman all you want. I don't give a damn.
These nuts. Got him.
Got him.
Got him.
Thank you, Boo Boo Bear's mama, for chiming in with $9 on a super sticker right there. Every at bat feels like an automatic out, like when Squid was on the team. A says, yes, I remember that too much. I can't stand that. How are we losing to the Pirates? There's a lot of comments coming on TikTok. We appreciate that. Trout is a Hall of Famer who unfortunately keeps striking out right now. And here's the thing too, J-Dog and everybody else on the chat. Imagine if he hadn't been injured the last few years, we wouldn't be talking about him approaching 400. We would be talking about him approaching 550. And if he was still the stable player that he was before all these injuries, man, oh man, we would be talking about a guy who would be probably chasing down 700 before his career was over. But that's not going to happen. I think at this point, he'll be lucky to hit 500. Also, Mateo says, sorry, Todd, your Seahawks lost out on Tyler Lockett. I knew he was gone. Let's see. Also, let's go down here. Boo Boo's mama says, Grill Master, I do believe Trout is a Hall of Famer. He's not washed up. Trout is literally Doc Hudson from Cars. Shit is sad, man. He is falling off big time. And tomorrow, guess what? I'm going to the game, so hopefully we don't get swept tomorrow, as I will be in attendance. Hopefully I can enjoy one. If the Angels lose tomorrow, Todd has to have a live stream tickle fight with the Locked On guys to help us feel better. Maybe a tasty nut for good measure. You suck, bro. You suck. Also, Trout started out as a projected Hall of Famer, but then put it into cruise control. And unfortunately, rah-rah honks have him still as a Hall of Famer. That's becoming more and more up for debate, unfortunately. Trout may not be able to hit a beach ball right now, striking out as much as he is, but anyone who says he's not a Hall of Famer is an idiot. You guys, I have a feeling that's going to go back and forth right here. Also, I'm 40 years old on 2 bad knees, bad hip, and a hell of a receding hairline because of 5 kids, and I could still hit better than Trout did today with an 89-mile-per-hour fastball. Raw Dog says over on TikTok, if the Angels are patient at the plate, they get. If they're not patient, let me start over. If the Angels are patient at the plate, they get cooked. If they swing it at the plate, they get cooked. I think, again, it's all to what. But see, the thing is, Raw Dog, they never have one specific approach to the field or to the game. They always choose to be either overly aggressive or not aggressive. They don't do the small things. They don't make in-game adjustments. Like, say, for instance, when Hiti came out a little more aggressive and was showing that he had good break on his pitches and was mixing it in with his fastball, after the first time around, someone's got to grab these guys by the neck and say, okay, guys, what we're going to do on the second time around, we're going to look to do this. We're going to exploit this. We're going to go the other way because the defense was shading this way, right? You break it down. That's what the bench coaches are there for. That's what all those fuckers that are sitting on that bench are supposed to be studying while the hitters are not performing. So if they're not performing, you talk to them and you say, okay, I need you to go with like this in this at bat. That's why we miss Mike Scioscia so much, because it was not about the analytics. I know you have to have some analytics, but it can't be overbearing, number one. And number two, we miss Scioscia because Scioscia called every pitch, whether he looked like he was picking his nose, rubbing his Buddha belly. It didn't matter. He called every pitch. He called every swing. If he told you, hey, I want you to lay down a bunt, and your name was Vladimir Guerrero, I'm pretty sure he would do it. But we don't have that anymore. Yeah, and then A says the approach is swing as hard as you can and hope for the best. Also, Guinness says, man, you got some real good content. I appreciate this. I appreciate you too. And the best way you can help us out here, we just got started on TikTok over there, is pass it around, share it. And we really appreciate everybody that gets on here, because, again, we have even more chat over here on the YouTube side. So we got a lot of stuff going on. We do this all the time on our other shows as well. So I appreciate the compliment. And if you like it, subscribe, hit the like, share it. Same thing on over here. We really appreciate everybody chiming in, because you guys take the show where it's got to go. I give my opening monologue and it goes exactly the way you guys and gals want to take it. So Boo Bear's mama says, I was at the game by myself and I'm glad I didn't torture anybody else. Joshua says, and I was thinking of going to the game tomorrow. Well, I'll be there torturing myself and my girl. I'm trying to get her out. Let's see. Also, Raw Dog says it's still early in the season, but man, it's going to be a long season. Wait a minute. I think Roger says we've got a lot of baseball left to be played, even though we've suffered some
emotional damage.
we've got a lot of baseball left to be played.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Actually, tomorrow. Also, Captain Clutch was more like Captain Crunch. Trout trying to mimic Joey Gallo. And then Jason said, you know what? For a game like this, you just have to cue Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
What the hell is going on out there? The reason that the Angels are losing combination of shirtless Todd and number 6 visiting the clubhouse. Okay, I made a mistake that day, okay? It was all Boo Bear's mommy's fault. What's worse is when the kids, bless their hearts, were chanting, "Let's go Angels." It seemed like the audio guy interrupted him with another soundbite. Yeah, there was a lot of kids there tonight from what I heard from you and Jim, and they were probably like, "Let's go Angels." And it's like, shut up, kid. You bother me. So what a day. What a day. Let's see. Also, you got Fire Johnny Washington is what I want to do straight up right now. The A says on TikTok, at least the barbecue brisket Mac Bowl is still sold at the Big A. Also, we are not so back by Cross right there. And also, at least we get the arcade to pass by this time. I can't stand the Heyo. It's the Day-O. Wait, if you can't stand it, let's play it one more time since everyone loves it. So you get that about 40 times a game, and then on, for any little thing, you have this being played on television over and over. It's either that or Wayne's like, hey, let's take a ride with Honda. Also, Mateo says beating Mona Lisa is staring contest is more entertaining than this product on the field. Jim says it's still not too late for the Angels to tank by the end of April and blow the 2025 season. Fire a lot of Mario says just got home from the game. Thanks for the tickets, Todd. Sorry, I can't control the game. Boo Bears Marty says fire or sell the freaking team. Fire Washington. Same thing with Grillmaster. Tyler says also, yeah, we are. What are we doing with this hitting coach? Halos were literally swinging at 90-mile-per-hour fastballs down the middle. And the thing is, too, is this team's got to get a lot better because we were talking about going 1-0 every day, trying to just get that W. And if you can't start it back tomorrow, try to win your series, try to go 2 out of 3. Yeah, they've already lost this series for damn sure. A tip of the big Black Stenson to Andrew Hingdong Heaney. Great job tonight. Struck out the first 6 hitters, allowed a 1 hit through 6 innings. Can't wait for $3 tickets on Zach Neto bobblehead day. I have my entire house decorated with them. Aiden says, need Victor Rojas back in the booth. I think he was damn good and a good lucky charm. Corno says, fire everyone ASAP. Jesus says, we're so bad. Also betting the under on the Angels tomorrow. Yeah, they're going to be minus runs tomorrow. Marty says, wow, we suck. Todd owes me playoff baseball. Unfortunately, if I was manager, I could get this team somewhat relevant. J-Dog says, we have yet to get a leadoff guy on all series against the Pittsburgh fucking Pirates. Jim says, hey, we're under 500. Thank you, Artie. Saucy also says, who do you think will win the NFC West this year? Not, I don't know. It's too early for that. And that's football talk. Jim Hoyt says it's Spritz o'clock, and that means one thing. We toast the Spritz no matter what.
O'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
You go right there, Spritz o'clock. And by the way, I have a 4-pack of tickets. Oh man, I have a 4-pack of tickets for tomorrow. So there you go. Yeah, Artie needs to sell a team. Comments over there on TikTok. I am going for my Seahawks, but I don't know if that's going to happen. A lot of football left to be played. I think 10 of the first 12 batters struck out. NFL draft is tomorrow. Jesus says, you seen that scene from Jurassic Park that comes through the big pile of shit? That's the Angels right now. Also, Mario says, boo-boo, Those kids were cheering and chanting in the Trout farm, and they were being what is it called? They were being screwed over by Trout. Need to fire Ron Washington, Corey says. Also, we're under 500. Who knows when we'll ever get back over again this season? Yeah, usually when that happens, it's over and done with, but we'll see. Gonna have to sell those fun packs for $5 if they want to keep the attendance up. J-Dog says O'Neill Cruz's first home run hasn't landed yet. Mateo says Spritz coming up my butt right now, which he's not exactly talking about Spritz, but he is talking about Rodger Lodge.
Let me tell you something about my guy, John Stamos. So I was able to go in the back bedroom and unscrew the old balls and
Running up my butt right now?
you get out of it what you put into it. John Stamos
Choked on me.
He was so great.
Boo Bear's mommy says, Mario, I have to agree with that. I was in the section and at times it was deafening, the cheers from those kids, but they were so into it and we still lost. Also, James says balls. And I thought that we are what they thought they were. Oh yeah, they are what we thought they were for sure right there. Man, freaking team though. I really had high hopes, man, and I'm not losing faith just
Time
yet.
for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
J Ram says the only good thing about today was the StatCast was down. The bad thing is Gooby Goober couldn't shut the fuck up about it not working. I've got nothing else to talk about. Mateo says, hey, Todd, I may be coming down for the Memorial Day weekend. I may go to a game on the 24th. Are you going to be at the Marlins series? Yes, we'll have a tailgate for that, so I'll be there. Let's see. Gave Lockdown a thumbs down. Thank you. Mario says, anyone going to go to the game? What Pirates fans are going to be chanting every time Tommy Pham was at bat? I don't know. Why was Logan O'Hoppe sitting today? Well, that pretty much makes no sense, but my guess is either he had diarrhea again, or Ron Washington thinks he could reinvent the wheel. Or it's the nerds upstairs saying, I don't think he can swing against Andrew Heaney. These trash-ass hitters made Heaney look like Randy Johnson. 714 tickets, 714 tickets. Dude, I forgot to mention 714 tickets. Thank you, Patrick. 714 tickets is the only ticket that you could buy wrestling. You can buy sporting events as far as Kings hockey, Lakers, playoff tickets, Angels, Dodgers, Ducks if they were playing, Padres, whatever team inside and outside of California, whatever concert inside and outside of California, use our code HITI and you get 10% off of any particular ticket and a group of tickets as well. So if you buy like 6 tickets, you get 10% off that price. And the best thing is the price you see is the price you get. So if it says $48, it's $48 and then you get 10% off. So I appreciate that. Useless Trucker says the Angels should bat blindfolded. I think they'll improve. Let's see. I'm a loser, baby. That song right there by Beck, Grillmaster suggests. Lockdown was on for 18 minutes. Trash. They are trash. Let's see. Trout needs nachos for sure. Frederick says Heaney wins the gold in Stamos. He sure did, Frederick. Also, Boo Bear's mommy says, come on, Todd. Pathetic is not nearly as bad as this team was tonight. Useless Trucker also says Heaney is a pitcher they never saw before. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Locked On said Clippers. J-Dog says Rodger Lodge completely ignores how much his team strikeouts and says, oh, who's going to hit a home run today? That is him all the way. I can't stand that guy because he literally needs to just be like he needs to really get his shit together and tell the truth. But, of course, he won't. J-Ram says Lockdown was on for 18 minutes so they could watch Todd Fox. Yeah, they're going to steal my stuff tomorrow for sure. Also, a cool thing is that so many people left. We snuck down to the field level seats. Yeah, there was plenty of tickets down there for sure. Also, roses are red, violets are blue, angels suck, and so do you. There you go. Appreciate that one. Also, Mateo, who sucks right there. Watching that live was tough. I can only imagine. Eric says, when does the season start? And I think we have to go ask him right now because we have to keep our composure first because the Angels played like this.
All right, everybody. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We've made a great effort so far. Let's just keep it up.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure.
Keep our composure.
It's not too far. There's too much to lose. It's not just keep our composure.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Also, funniest thing right now in the 8th inning, my wife was watching TikTok of a fat guy trying to run up an escalator, going the wrong way and giving up. It reminds me of our offense, Q Lombardi. Saucy says, wish Heaney had a perfect game. Just go full retard. Joshua says, they look like a little league team right now. Aiden over there says, now we can only, we know why Jansen signed with us because he doesn't have to do anything. Dude, that guy, is he still on the team? He hasn't pitched in forever. Useless Trucker says, maybe the Angels should start a brawl like professional wrestling. Angel fans need something else to cheer for because baseball isn't our thing. These teams are considered, or the Angels are considered a professional team. Q Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
Exactly. Also, Midapi says, I want to keep honking, but good Lord, this team is painful to watch. Angels are not studying basic baseball. Useless Trucker says, this podcast is 1,000 times more entertaining than the game. Paid Todd $40 million. Hey, get me an agent. I'd take that in a heartbeat, dude. Dude, pay me $40 a show and I'd be happy. Good God, man. I mean, we went from making we weren't making anything. We're still in the red, but Boo Bear's mom is trying to get us out of our recession. So I appreciate that. I actually had to watch the video in honor of tonight's game, Eric Wallace said. Also, Angels need John Gruden. I don't even think John Gruden can help him. Also, Jason Hess says you can't hit a pitcher, you play small ball. Exactly. You switch it up, you make in-game adjustments, which the Angels don't do. Also, pretty much the pitchers are doing their homework, but the offense isn't. I commented earlier today about the whole offenses and coaches should sit down and watch Tony Gwynn and his approach, especially with 2 strikes on him. Also, the Angels look like bench warmers and the coaching is terrible. And the hitting, let's see, the hitters aren't practicing. George Knox, chime in, please. Yeah, this was terrible because I think it deserves this from Coach Knox.
One more loss, which could have been a win. You call yourselves professionals. I have never, ever seen a worse group of 25 players. You don't think as a team. You don't play as a team. You don't even lose as a team. You all got your heads so far up your butts, you can't even see the light of day. Each and every one of you. One more.
Yeah, so there you go. There's that. Also, you have Tony Gwynn was a magician. James Hess says, StatCast music tonight. Oh, wait, we have to check the StatCast all the time. And then you switch over to the circus music. So circus music would better, take care of this. Hold on. It is because that's one I rarely use, and I can't find it because I have so many right here. Shit. Winning streak Pac-Man. No. Yep, I just lost it, but I'll play it anyway. That's the Angel lineup when they come out when they announce the batters. Let's see. Also, don't you wonder what Skeens could pitch a no-hitter, or don't you think he would pitch a no-hitter? He would do a perfect game against the Angels for sure. Let's see. Also, Mateo says, one of the messages I said last year to the football games, do you guys want to quit? Should we just put our helmets and pads and go shake hands with the other guys? Or do you want to go out there and fight? Well, I think that's after you actually do some managing and help them to see what they're doing is wrong and change them up. See, if Todd is so angry, his veins are about to burst in his neck. Useless Trucker says, give the Angel fans 10-cent beer and they need to do something during the game. That'll get people going for sure. Also, first the Pirates dazzle us with their hits. Then they go with their pitching 25-0. Perfect game incoming. Daniel Bradito says this organization definitely 100% horrible. What else is there to talk about except the same shit every year the last 12 years? And without a new owner or a true rebuild, no positive future. And that's something I want to say because we've said that too, Daniel, and that's a good point. This team has never done a hard reset, and they should have done it years before. They keep wanting to retool, but not all the way in. They don't give you players that can actually make you retool. They don't want to go long-term. It's one-year deals, and you just keep getting the same kind of average team or below average. Todd sounds so much like Trent. Now he's in danger of forgetting his normal voice. Also, Eric, it's Todd. Todd is in pissed off form, which is why I watch. He speaks the truth. I appreciate that right there. I hate these rants. He even rants when we win. Thanks, Mateo. Also agree. The Angels can be a top quality product. They have a great location and history over the years. Iconic players, but to no avail. We've been in a decade of suck. Jason says, Mateo, you must be a young honker. We will rant till we get to a World Series. Also useless. Stan says they were still missing batting practice fastballs over the middle, over the plate. Fire Washington. Also, the name of the circus music is Entry of the Gladiator. Angels 1 walk in 27 innings. That is pathetic. Grillmaster says working a walk means fouling off pitches, 2 strike counts. There's only 2 players that do that. Again, it's either Renifo or Shonawell. Everyone else is swinging for the fences. Don says unbelievable how bad they were. On behalf of the Pirates, thank the Angels as they boost their stats. Useless Trucker says. Demetrio says, thanks again, Todd, for the tickets. Had so much fun. Took my baby boy to his first ever game. And I heard Jim gave you a baseball. That was nice. Kyron Paris going to be sent down if his ass doesn't pick it up fast. Demetrio says, what that being said, God, we stink like dog shit. Also, Jason says, haven't been to the Big A for 15 years. Not sure if I want to make my return when they're playing like this. I agree. Thank you. You're welcome right there. Also, Jack Chandler said I was right with a Trout right there. I called it earlier that he was going to have a shit game before when I was talking with Jack. Marcia could have thrown basketballs and we would have missed him tonight. See, Jack, that guy Jim is awesome, Demetrio. Also, Soler sucks, just like Vernon Wells was with us, Jack Chandler says. Grillmaster says Trout should seek out judges, hitting instructor, and work for Paris for 5 seconds. Also, can we go back to 2002 with Troy Gloss and GA? That would be nice. Boo Bear's mommy says, is this the same Heaney that played for the Angels? Q Lombardi. I don't think it is, dude. He's playing way, way better with other teams.
What the hell's going on out here?
Jack also says we got our starting pitch. We got the worst starting pitching in the MLB, but somehow we're in these games. And we don't have a lick of offense. Maybe this show should be called Strikeouts in the Infield. Hey, that actually sounds good. Hendricks and Kavanovich, Kikuchi. Soriano looks terrible. And to be honest, or TA is good, but throws 80 miles per hour. He's breaking down the rotation right now. And then also Ocean View Coffee Shop says the Angels are losing their mojo already. Starting pitching is as bad as it's ever been. Look, they don't have guys that scare you. I'll give you that. But you can't deny the numbers that at least are keeping you in the ball games. You know, they don't have the most sparkling ERAs, but they're keeping. I mean, how hard is it to not get the league average? The league average for runs in a game right now, believe it or not, is 4.1. That's the league average. What are the Angels hitting right now? 2.1 or 1.9 runs per game? They're not putting up many runs. So starting pitching, yes, it looks bad on paper, but they're doing the goddamn best they can right now. And they're just not getting any help. Mets look solid. Anyone remember Canning? Canning looks really good. Jason Hess says the fact that the guys think that pitching is okay is a joke. This is not a play. Well, it's not a playoff rotation, Jason. I'm not arguing with anybody that says this is a bad rotation or the team that's not going to get you to the playoff. I get it. But when they are pitching above their head and they're leaving you in the games, you can't look at them right now and say, well, they are the problem. You can't. It's by far the hitting. The hitting is the worst one. LV says the season starts tonight, man. I mean, he doesn't.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Silseth can't get back on the field. He's still in the minors, still pitching crappy. Hanky Panky says this team use a guy like tonight's Pirates starting pitcher. Mario says I was chatting with a dude next to me at the game. I was like, every swing is exactly the same, swinging for the fences. Nacho award well-deserved to the entire team. Marty says, anytime we are down in the last inning, they remind me of us forever. We came back last Sunday. Hey, check it out. Hanky Panky says we're missing number 6. Yeah, sure we are. Let me scroll down a little bit here to try to catch up to these comments right here because we're already approaching the hours right now. They're looking for Joe Girardi right there. That wouldn't be a bad pickup right now. Also, Jack says Paris had one crazy week, and now he shouldn't be in the lineup with 20 Ks in a week. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, he's had a bad one right there. Also, Botch says, hey, Todd, you heard the rumblings about the time starts not being healthy from Trout to Kelly Jensen expressing their displeasure. No, I didn't hear anything about that one, but you got to give me that one for sure. I got to find out if there's an article about that. Adam Kennedy was a beast. Yes, he was. Spezio, we talked to Spezio too. And again, Spezio said he couldn't coach in today's baseball because of the analytics. Hanky Panky says the Super Halo brothers said that this team is still a playoff team. At no time, guys and gals, if you watch the pre-show for the season, when we were doing our predictions, at no time did any of us say that they were a playoff team. We said that they have some talent on their team. They could be competitive. That's what we wanted to see, was competitive baseball on a night in, night out night out, game by game basis. We knew that there's going to be some times where we just can't cut it, and sometimes we'll get blown out. Sometimes we'll blow out the other team. But we just wanted to be competitive this year, and we felt that they put a team out there to be competitive. A lot of my constituents on this network picked them to be under 500. I was the only one that picked them to be 500. So no, we weren't picking this team to be playoff at all, but we just wanted them to be 500. We wanted them to be competitive. So there you go. Also, Saucy says this team would strike out 10 times against the 66ers. Yes, I did see your rants. I want balls, and Adrian.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and
John Stamos.
Also, John Hammond says Matthew Lugo is starting to heat it up in AAA. He might be the one to watch for the future. He homered off of Gosselin today. Jack Chandler says at least we played even for 22 games. Now it's over. Botch says Artie Moreno's Angels schedule policy is not making Trout happy. Read this by Chris Landers. Okay. Also, Mario says the Angels' whole philosophy is off. We all played baseball at some level. I was telling my wife that they play the game as if they haven't been playing it their whole life. Q Lombardi. They play it very apathetic too. I mean, at least hitting the ball, they do. I mean, pitching maybe not so much.
What the hell's going on out here?
Also, Trout has missed like 600 games. Let's see who gives a fuck about. We need to win. LOL. Also, you got Don saying, but I'm afraid that our hitting coaches would have him swinging for the fences all the time anyway. Emilio says, did you see the New York Times article about the players getting fucked about by Artie because they don't have a day game tomorrow and they have to fly from LAX to Minnesota and arrive in the morning to play the day? Okay, so I haven't seen that, but that's some crazy Artie shit right there. Halo Scoop says, irritating they couldn't make any contact in the low 90s. Imagine if Paul Skeens was pitching. Also, the spritz going up his butt. I already played that one right there. Grillmaster says, what I remembered about Sosha, he would always tap his face in various places for whatever reason. Also, maybe Trout is sucking on purpose to get traded. No, that should have worked years ago. Now I miss Sosha when everyone hated him. Jesse Perez says, also Squirrely Dad, another freaking loss, frustrating. Came home to watch the Kings beat the Oilers on TV. Got the night right off. I'm going to the Clippers game. I need a break. Damn, you're all over the place. But that's awesome. Let's see. Coming down right here. My grandnephew can hit better than this team right now. Can't suck with runners in scoring position if you don't have any chances. Don says Kana struggled in struggled a little bit today in the AAA game. 3 2/3, gave it 3 runs, and he did strike out 6. And this is probably one of the best sayings out there. Useless Stannis Count says, insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. This team is insanity. It's true, because they do the same things over and over and over and over. Growing pains for him. It was a good test. He's talking about Dana right there. Let me go back down here. Play an awesome Underdog Sportsbook commercial, Me So Horny. Okay, so he already requested 2 in 1.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny and me love you long time.
Hey, Todd, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at the Underdog app sponsored by Halos in the Infield. Actually, you can punch in HITI and get the promo code 20% earnings on your first bet via Underdog, the app. And also, they match 50% up to $1,000 winnings if you place bets. You could put them on players. You could put it on teams. It's a nightly thing. It's so easy to play, but also gamble responsibly. all because of Halos in the Infield and Underdog, the app.
YouTube fan says we could get Tony Gwynn, Pete Rose, Stan Musial, Barry Bonds, Rock Kuro, Ted Williams as batting coaches, and we would still suck. It's Jink's name in the front of the shitty fucking owner. I think it's the owner, not the team. But yeah, that would be magical if we can get all those debt guys back. Boo Boo Bear's mama sends in $19. Thank you so much. There you go. You're 40. I wasn't asking for it, but I appreciate it. Mario says something is not copacetic. Todd is not being myopic. Q Lombardi. I think it's a game with you guys to get me to say myopic at some point right there.
What the hell's going on out here?
Also, Randy says makes that comeback against the Giants seem like a month ago. Remember when this team was 9-5, Randy? Washington should run fast and turn left unless he's going to unemployment. Silent E says so much for the adjustments. They are talking about Gooby still on the broadcast. Home run. Shut the fuck up. By the way, go to our Substack and read Silent E's awesome articles. He's got some great shit over there. I'm telling you. Are you ready to sign Trevor Bauer yet? Dude, face it. He's not coming back, dude. Kaepernick's going to come back before he does. Joshua says, so if I buy cheap tickets tomorrow, can I move down? Yes, you can. I got 4-pack to give away too. Your handyman says, what will it take for the shitheads to turn it around? What's the next move for you? I would say this: fire the hitting coach and restart the training process of these hitters. Get it done now before the season gets away from them. They're not going to make the playoffs, but don't be a shitty 63-win team. They could be an 81-81 team showing signs of improvement for next year by just making in-game adjustments, going the other way in certain situations, taking what the pitcher gives you, adjust. If I could preach one word, it's adjust, but in-game adjustments. So 2 words, in-game adjustments, because you need to do that as you play. You cannot go up there in the first at bat through your third or fourth with the same approach. Things change, and this team just continues to roll with it like that insanity post there by the useless account. Let's see. Also, Randy says, hey, Todd, remember the days we were in first place and led the league in homers for like 2 minutes? I miss those days. Also, let me know when you want to throw a computer chair through your window, pal. It's getting close to that time. Also, DJ says, Heaney dominates you? Yes, he does, DJ. Everybody dominates the Angels. I still think the Halos have a good chance to lose 100 games. Let's fucking go. That's the spirit. Also, Botch says, when will your bat phones be ready so we can call in? You know what? I need a day off to do that, and I was so close. I need to get on with with Randy, or I need to get on with our other tech guy, Andrew. Between Randy and Andrew, one of them's got to help me get this thing going, because the Google phones are just not syncing up. It's not allowing me to get a phone number. As soon as I get a phone number, it's all good. The problem was we had Skype, and Skype screwed everything up, dude. They just literally shit on anybody that's running their own thing. This team is worse than Marcia's spritzing all over me. Oh, Mario says, it's so depressing talking about our favorite team. I can't wait for the day when we're a competitive game. It would be so much more fun of a podcast. Dude, it would be. It would be. I've been dying to talk, not even playoff baseball, just fun, competitive baseball. You know, just like the Giants series was kind of fun to talk about for the weekend. I want that on a consistent basis. That'd be cool, man. We don't need to really win all our games. Just, make it fun. Yeah, I was very surprised the series finale is not a day game when they have to play the next night against Minnesota. So apparently that's Artie's fault. Hey, you're skipping again. I tagged you on Angel Nation and Artie making them play a night game because he thought they'd face Skeens. Oh, Artie meddling too much. Sorry, Dan. Marty says, are we skirting around the iceberg, or are we starting to have the orchestra tune up their instruments? I still think it's way too early. I mean, think about it. Right now, if you look at what they've done, the Angels, and I hate looking at the standings. I'm only doing this because you brought it up. Texas is 14-9, a game and a half up on Seattle. They're a game and a half up on Houston. They're 3 games up on the Angels, and the Angels are staring at Oakland/Sacramento/Vegas, a game behind us. So, I mean, it could be the Pirates. Pirates are 5.5 out already, but they've won 2 in a row, thanks to us. You're very welcome, Buccos. Yeah, oh, man. So after this series, the Angels do play those Minnesota Twinkies. And the Twinkies are not all that great, but can we look at them like we're far superior? Hell no. So, we got the Twinkies for 3, and then we have a brief series up in Seattle for 2, and we come back home to play the Detroit Tigers, who have really good pitching, a guy that we should have gotten from Flaherty. And then we play Toronto and the Baltimore Orioles for our longest homes, or one of our longest homestands, 10-game homestand, Detroit, Toronto, and Baltimore. So to start off May. So the end of April has us playing 5 more games actually 6 more games. We'll have 1 in Pittsburgh, 3 in Minnesota, and then we're at Seattle. So it's pretty funny though. So you look at the attendance. It's up. It shows the attendance for everybody right here. You got tickets going as low as $4 for tomorrow night's game. And then in Minnesota, they're going for $5 on game 1 on Friday. Saturday's $8. Sunday is $4. And then in Seattle, they're going for $3 for the Angels aren't drawn. They're not getting the people to come to the stadium like they were. So let's see. A few more here. Wake me up when September ends. I will never play that because that is played out by the worst broadcaster of all time, and that's PP, propaganda prime minister over there. I can't do that. Angels suck. Mateo says, I ended up breaking a damn coffee mug. Joshua says, at least we don't have Jock on the team. He's 1 for 41. Yeah, I did want Jock Peterson at one point. Twins will get right playing the Angels. They're not playing good at all. Also, we're destined to win 2 of those 10 home games. By the way, Marty, in Seattle, I know for sure our boy Trout will hit a couple home runs. Watch. He'll do it up there in Seattle. He owns that stadium. If any team should have picked him up, it should have been the Seattle Mariners. What's Rodger saying right now? He's like, don't worry about the hitting, guys. The hitting is not the problem. What we're doing wrong is we're pitching. We're giving up too many runs, and that's why we're losing. Whenever you give up too many runs than the other team, you tend to lose. Well, no shit, Sherlock. But that's not the problem. Also, you got Hayes saying, I feel like they be lying about the attendance numbers. Today, they said around 30,000 plus fans, but it looked empty. It did look empty. There's a lot of green out there. B-Train says, should have gotten so much out of Shohei. Shake my head. Thanks, Artie. Boy, you ain't lying. You ain't lying because I'll just revisit that real quick. Tampa Bay offered the last year we had Shohei 2 years ago, which is hard to believe. They offered 4 players, 3 damn good top 50 prospects. And we said no, because we want to hold on to the gravy train. And then Angel fans lost out on that final month of September when we could have said bye to him in an Angel uniform because he was hurt. So if you would have gave up some of that, ad money, you would have gotten pretty good players from Tampa. Tampa's always had a good minor league system. And then just a year before that, you had several teams offering as much as 7 players for 1. And there was even a deal that was rumored out there that the Angels were possibly trying to throw number 6 in there to dump salary. So we wouldn't have got back 7 or 8 prospects. We would have gotten back about 4 or 5 with like a major league ready player. But they would have had to eat some of that contract from number 6 and take Ohtani with a year left on his contract. That would have worked out for some team. But again, Artie couldn't. It's not about winning. He doesn't care about winning. Artie cares about making that green. And if he's not making the green, he's not going to do it. So that's the problem with that. Thomas said, just a sad game. B-Train says, if we're going to pay him anything, he wanted them, he had to be traded. He wasn't going to pay him, should have traded him, but he basically milked that teat of Ohtani till he couldn't milk it no more. Hey, Todd, do you think we ever sign number 6, we would have a better chance of re-signing Ohtani? Yes, because Artie pretends that he's a rich owner. He's not filthy rich yet. He's not Stan Kroenke. He's not Samuelson until he sells the Angels. So it's not like he has $2 billion in the bank and he could be like, oh, I can afford to lose $100 million this year, or I could break even this year. Because likely if he would have put out over the luxury tax, he'd lose over $100 million without the TV contracts and all that other stuff. And it would work. You know, he would take a loss, but he doesn't have that kind of FU money. He only has that FU money if he sells the franchise. I think he's worth hundreds of millions, but he's not worth what they say he's worth. He's only worth that in theory if he sells the team, which unfortunately he's not going to do. We're going to have to wait for him to die, and his family's going to sell the team because he doesn't want to sell it. Do Wayne and Gooby have scripts? Yes, they do. They're told to preach certain things. Thomas also says, where's number 6? Number 6 is in Houston, enjoying the weekly checks that he gets from Artie Moreno in Major League Baseball. He's not a part of this team right now. B-Train says, I never thought we would have the record that we have right now before the season started. We're doing better than I expected. They are better, but they've lost some games like tonight. They should have won. Should have won last night. Should have won tonight. But the hitting disappears. They should have won a couple games on the Texas two-step, but they didn't do it. So we're at 11-12. We hope that to salvage at least one for tomorrow, and then also make it to 500 before we hit the road. Also, Alex says, man, that was a sorry ass fucking game to go to. I'm sorry you had to go to that one, Alex. I'll be there tomorrow. Yeah, he's worth it. All based on assets. The Angels are one of his assets. Also, all I want this season is for my Halos to have an all-around healthy season and see what happens. That's why I thought we would get to 81-81. You know, if that happens, we can get there. Also, Mateo says, all right, you guys, we lost a game yesterday. We're going to lose 2 in a row, and it's going to be a losing streak. Yes, it is. Artie will never sell, unfortunately. It's true. We're with him. We're with him to the end, literally. So final thoughts on this one as we wrap up the show. The Angels lose 3 runs to 0 tonight. The Angels put up a fat donut. They fall to 4-4 at home, 11-12 overall. The Pirates go to 10-5, 4-8 on the road. 3 runs, 11 hits for the Pirates, 1 error. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Angels. They struck out 12 more times and did not work a walk at all tonight. Pitching was decent for them tonight. Again, only allowed the 3 runs. Not the problem. It was pure freaking hitting was the problem. When you only put 2 hits together, that is ass. And you had Mike Trout up there leading the way with 3, getting the hat trick. Nick Tate says, Johnny Washington needs to go to work at Wendy's. Also, Jesus says, at this point, do we not consider Trout a Hall of Famer? He's a Hall of Famer, but right now, no, I mean, he's not playing like one for sure. These nuts did better than the Angels tonight. Okay.
These nuts. Got him.
There you go. B-Train says, good night, everyone. There's always tomorrow. Woohoo! That's how we're going to go about it. That's how we're going to do it. And then thank you for everybody that went to the game and had to put up with the shit and put up with my rants as we get through another post-game show here on the only podcast and network that tells you and talks to you like we were sitting together at a game, just chopping it up, guys and gals talking Angels baseball and having a good time. Hopefully they can give us more to talk about. Love you too, Grillmaster, and everybody that was there tonight at the game or just watching and had to suffer. We all suffer together. And someday, I promise you, each and every one of you, that we will be better and we will reach the playoffs and we will have a great uplifting, upbuilding show instead of tearing down the players that we so love and talking shit about the managers that are screwing this team over and the ownership that sucks ass. Good night, everybody. Have a good night, I guess, and I guess we'll get them tomorrow for Thursday's game. And yeah, and hopefully, like I said, we close out the homestand, be 500, get to the road. Have a good night.